Hello everyone, welcome back to my craft room. My name is Whitney Lucas with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, and today we're going to make one of these. She's a big girl. She's very pretty too, isn't she? Believe it or not, that is made out of two of these. See that here? These are the Dollar Tree. Yes, the Dollar Tree candy cane forms, candy cane wreath forms. Two of these. Every year you see tons of these come out, and then people wrap them with ribbon, put a bow on it, and they're done. This right here, two of them, made this pretty girl. So, we got a lot of work to do, guys. This thing is not small. I don't know if you can tell from here, but this thing, she's beautiful. And she's full. Let's put it that way. She's full. She's got a lot of good stuff in her. The sign, this sign is an old sign from Michael's, probably a couple years ago, picking up stuff on clearance after this season's over, which is what I did on the table this year right now. This one we're going to make today is for my front door. So there's some navy blue themes in it because my front doors are dark blue. But this girl here, I just went with some old deco mesh. It's the 10-inch deco mesh. You're going to use 2 rolls of that, but we'll get down to the table and I'll show you all the supplies in a second. We got a couple pumpkins. It's 2 rolls of mesh and then also a decent amount of some burlap. But it's full, it's pretty, it's substantial. I wouldn't say it's heavy per se because, you know, these frames aren't exactly strong. You could use 4 if you wanted. If you're worried about it, you're going to load it up and put a bunch of stuff in it. But I'm going to put a decent amount of stuff in here today, guys, but I'm still only going to use 2. They're pretty sturdy. This is actually just gorgeous. I'm extremely happy with it. I love how full it is. I like how it turned out. It was a bit of a struggle for me to decorate it. I had to take it on and off the wall, as you notice here. I used to have a picture up here, okay? And frustration kicked in, so I asked my husband to bring me a nail. So I took my picture down and I put a hole in my wall, guys. That's how determined I was to get this thing. I don't normally put all of the extras in a wreath while it's hanging. I always do it when I'm on the actual tabletop. But this was such an awkward and such a large piece. I just didn't have the room. So I just put her up on the wall and decorated her as we go, which I'm going to have to do that again. So we're going to have a little bit of a different view. And it's not going to be a short video. So disclaimer for those of you who don't like long videos, this might not be for you, okay? Anyways, lots of jibber jabber, lots of stuff, lots of stuffing, lots of ribbon, lots of little picks and flowers, greenery. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're still doing a fall theme. If anything, this is going to say pumpkins on it too. So this one says locally grown farmers market pumpkin patch. This one is the sign that says welcome to our pumpkin patch. But anyways, I just wanted you to guys see this. This is basically how she's put together. You guys got that idea? Can you tell now that I'm holding it how big it is? This is not a small thing. This is not by any means a small piece. This is how big it is. It is big. It's big. She's a big pretty girl. Just like me. So, I mean, you can see here, guys. It's actually very grand, very pretty. You're not going to miss this. You're going to walk past it. You're going to be proud of it. Or if you're selling it, you're still going to be proud of it. And it's going to make you smile. Trust me. In the beginning, even with my struggles and frustrations, because you guys know I'm always wondering, should I do this? Should I do this? I still look at her and I'm in love. I like it. I think it's pretty. And there's only 2 pumpkins in there, guys. There's a pumpkin here and there's a pumpkin here. They're like a rattan pumpkin. You can't really see them all that well. They kind of blend in very, very well. Those are Hobby Lobby. But in any event, we got a lot to do, guys. So let's get down to our craft table. And I'll show you all of our supplies, or at least what I got pulled together. You already know I'm probably going to add some stuff in here, but yeah, let's take a look at what we got. 1 second. All right, so we are going to be using, first off, obviously, 2 Dollar Tree candy cane forms. Make sure that's what we're going to start with. Those are must-haves. We're going to need 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. I got these this year on clearance at Michael's. I got them for $3.99 each, so they're originally $9.99. So all of their fall stuff was half off. But you can get 10-inch rolls of mesh pretty much anywhere, including oh my gosh, craftoutlet.com. You guys know these. There's lots of places to get 10-inch mesh. This is a particular, you know, they actually didn't put in here what it is. It says it's polyester, but there's jute. This is a jute mesh that doesn't have any sparkle. The one behind me that I already made, that one was a sparkly mesh. That mesh came from Joann's many years ago, also during a clearance. And I actually think it was Christmas mesh, but whatever. It was a burlap and a really shiny gold, and it looked really pretty. But anyways, I went with navy blue and a cream and a jute. This is going to be great. So you need 2 rolls of that, and we're going to cut it a really cool way because we use the ruffle method. You're going to need a roll of burlap. This is an old roll from Michael's. You can get them in one big roll. You're going to need as many as this because we're still going to cut everything at the same length. So this is 19 feet. You're going to need 19 feet of burlap, however much that is. I have had these rolls for ages. I've used them decorating my trees. I've used them in my home. So I have quite a few of these on hand, but any kind of burlap you want. Now this is a 6-inch wide burlap. Obviously this is a 10-inch wide mesh. You don't want to use, in my opinion, a 3rd roll of mesh because it's going to end up being too full, but we'll get to that when we actually start putting the mesh onto our frames. Okay, I'm going to be using these little stem pieces here. Now, I know Dollar Tree sells these guys, but I couldn't find them. And I saw some of the garland, and I was surprised at how thin it was. So I didn't know how good they were. These are from Michael's. These have a nice, substantial weight to them. Now, you can get them in a pack of 20 at Michael's for $6.99. I got mine 30% off. You're going to need 24 of them. Now, for the wreath I already made that I showed you guys, I cut them in half, and you can't see them at all from the outside. I want these to be seen, so I'm going to leave them whole so that they stick out after we're done putting our mesh and our burlap in, okay? So you're going to need 24 of them, because we're going to use it to put the mesh in there. The burlap will be secured with chenille stems. So make sure you have something like that. All right. Here's the sign I got at Michael's for clearance. It says $16.99. I got this little pretty girl for, I think, $4 or $5. I don't remember. I got it really cheap because it's the last little bit of clearance they had shoved off onto an aisle on the side. So it's just a little metal sign. We're going to secure it into the top of our swag once we're ready. Now these punkies here, we are not putting glitter in anything, but these are a very old purchase from Hobby Lobby many moons ago. We are going to paint these. I'm going to paint them with a chalk paint and cashew and mineral. That should be fast. No details on that. I'm literally just going to slap paint on them. And then I got to take the stems off and paint those stems brown. We're going to use some of these bright yellow sunflowers. We're also going to use a couple of these fall leaf picks that are older. They're both from Michael's from way back in the day. Again, guys, use your stash. We all have it. If you don't have it, you can still run out right now and probably find some leftovers of fall stuff. I really hate that they just get rid of everything so soon because, I mean, I'm not decorating for Christmas just now. You guys, I love fall, and I'm letting fall exist in my home. It's not time yet. So in any event, we're going to have some of these branches sticking out. So I have these here. Now I'm not going to use, probably not going to use these red berries, but I am going to be using the different type of pine here for a different texture of pine than what these are going to look like. And then I thought, you know, I'm going to use these magnolia leaves that are part of it. So I grabbed a very old magnolia bush this is an old Hobby Lobby piece I used for a different project many years, well, not many years, but a long time ago. So I'm going to be tucking some magnolia leaves in there. What else do we got here? Oh, and our ribbon guys, because bows are going to be part of it. Now, you guys know I'm obsessed with my buffalo check, but because of the way this navy blue shines through, I don't want to put black and white with it because it's going to end up drowning it out and it's just going to look too busy. It's going to look like a buffalo check puke party. Sorry. In any event, it's going to be too much plaid. So I'm going to let this be the busiest part and let this do its job. Now, just like the one behind me, you might not see this very much, but I'm going to do my best to make sure it still shines through in certain places. So I'm just going to take a solid orange, 2.5 inch. This is a faux burlap from craftoutlet.com. This is a 1.5 inch faux canvas with punkies on it. I love the orange pumpkins. And then I got this at Michael's this year. This is also fall. It's like a linen with the navy blue stripes on it. Very farmhouse. Very makes me happy. So those three are definitely going to be our bows. We're going to do at least 2 larger bows, and we'll probably maybe tuck some more ribbon in for accents. We'll see how much space we need to fill. But those, we definitely be using these. And I believe that's it for now. I'm looking to make sure, did I put something somewhere else? If for some reason we need filler, I've got some extra little tiny flowers, but I'm thinking at this point we're going to be okay because this sign should do a decent amount of work of covering up some of that negative space we don't really want showing. So, what I'll do here, guys, is I'm going to get this stuff all situated, and what we'll do is we're going to start painting our punkies first, so that way they can dry. And then we'll get to cutting our mesh and putting on these 2 frames. I'll show you guys how to put that together in a second. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is start with painting punkies. These pumpkins are from Hobby Lobby. They sell them every year. I've seen them every year at least. Apparently I got these on clearance because I used to write on all my tags and now I don't because I don't have the patience for it anymore. But anyways, as you can see, they are very glittery. The glitter doesn't come off, which is why I purchased them. I try not to bring things in my home that shed glitter because I hate it with a passion. But as you can see, this entire pumpkin is glittery. And these are also a very old purchase. I don't purchase these anymore because they have some crazy, great looking pumpkins now that you wouldn't have to paint or do anything to. But back in the day, I was probably a little glitter obsessed, but even more so when it was glitter that doesn't shed. So in any event, I'm going to use these because they're perfectly good, but I'm going to make them custom. I'm going to put a really pretty color on them, and then I also, last minute, I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it just to see if we can pull some of the navy out of our good little navy plaid jute mesh here. I'm going to put just a little bit of blue in there. So starting off, I'm going to tape down. This is a styrofoam block that probably came out of an appliance purchase or some sort of box or something that got delivered to me many moons ago. So I'm going to start with taping this down to the table because this is what I'm going to stick the I'm going to stick our pumpkins in that to dry. So I need something with a good secure hold on the table, so I'm using masking tape to hold that down. So basically the gist of this is going to be, we're going to go paint, and then we're going to just pop that in there. And if you can see here, holding it perfectly in. And while that dries, we can move on to our next pumpkin and start the painting process that way. So that's how I've been doing it. That's how I did my Halloween pumpkins. This is how I'm going to start doing lots of these little things. I also have another project planned where I'm probably going to have to paint 4 of them. I am not going to force you guys to watch me to do that. In fact, on this one, I'm only going to do 1 on camera, and then I will do the other 2 the exact same way because we are going to need to use... I don't have any brown paint that I was looking. I want a really dark stem on it, so I'm going to use this walnut gel stain to paint this stem. Which first thing we're going to do is we're going to try and get this thing off of here. So we're going to move it back and forth, and it's coming. There we go. Perfect. So got that thing out of there. That thing was in pretty good too. So we got the little gold stem out. I'm going to leave that off to the side. We'll paint that last. I want my little pokey tool. Where's my pokey tool? And I need on those pliers. There we go. I left a little bit of glue and stuff here up top, so I'm going to just kind of... because that's going to cause a problem when it's time to put it back in. So I'm trying not to rip too much of it off because it has a... there we go, that'll be good. So, first things first, let's get our main color going. We're going to use Waverly. This is, oops, I already stuck my finger in it. Jeez, Whitney. I was going to try to do this without gloves because my nails are jacked up really bad anyways. Since I had my little box incident, and this one, you guys don't want to see this. This was bad. Lost half of this one, lost this one. I was able to glue this one back on, but this one's going to take a minute to heal. Anyways, so Waverly chalk paint and cashew. I don't want them to be stark white. This is also the one I just used for the last project you guys saw on my channel, the pumpkin shape, the tabletop pumpkin stand. One of my faves. So I'm just going to take some paint and I think what I'll do is the harder part is to paint upside down. I will paint the bottom first. I remember this from when I was doing my skulls. It was more difficult to paint the bottom holding it than it was if I just went in and painted I painted the tops of all the skulls first, and it proved to be a little bit more difficult. Now remember, we are placing these into an arrangement, so I have to remind myself every angle of this pumpkin does not have to be perfect. Granted, there may be an instance where at some point someone, little nosy Nancy, or whatever her name may be, might just take a look at your stuff and start poking around. But in the event that someone is digging through your arrangements, number one, we have to ask ourselves, who is this person and why are they in my home? Number two is, if it's that serious, let her see the behind the scenes. I ain't gonna hurt none, because that's the kind of person that's digging for it anyway, so let them see it. Now, I'm just gonna put like probably maybe one coat on the bottom, because this is not that serious. The tops of these, I'm nestling this guy right in to the, I'm nestling this into all the mesh we're going to be putting on it, so it's like one of those things where you're definitely going to see the top and some of the sides, so all this extra detail work might not be so, you know, end of the world type stuff, you know. I mean, I have a tendency to really, I mean, obviously we all know I'm my own worst critic. I always am. Half the time lately with everything I'm making, I'm like, what am I doing? Is this normal? Is this right? I've been watching a lot of other videos too. You know, same way you guys are doing that, and watching craft videos brings me happiness. I get calm, I get joy, and I think I get inspired to do my own thing. Like, you know, I could do something like that, and I could make it, maybe just change it up a little bit, see if I can do it. And then there's sometimes where I'm like, you know what, that is so stinking cute, and it's such a good idea. I'm just going to do it. And there's times I've duped stuff. I mean, I'm not making videos out of it, but I've duped stuff, and I put it in my home, and I've been happy. So that's what, in my opinion, that's the reason why we're putting out these videos, is to inspire you, or however you get inspired, is to bring that happiness into someone else's life. I mean, that's at least what I'm doing. There's times I'm sitting at my computer when I'm editing something, and I'll just pop on a different video somewhere else and watch it, just to get a little bit of that motivation popping in and saying, oh my gosh, I'm excited. I want to get back in there. I want to start messing with it. Now, recently, you guys, this chalk paint stuff has been taken over my life. It's been like, I can do this and I can make this look amazing. Because again, detail work, like when people who can do drawings and freehand stuff, my sister is one of those people. That's not for me. Now again, if it's a solid color, I'm all about that. I can do a little bit of something here and there with, you know, possibly with shading maybe, but I don't understand half of that stuff, and I don't take those classes, and I don't do those things. So I'm just checking in here for little holes and stuff, guys. Remember that this is wasn't loose glitter on the outside, but it had a texture to it, so I'm trying to just kind of fill in some of these holes and stuff. So here we went from shiny, obnoxious glitter to cashew That's a pretty creamy color. Nice, beautiful cream. So here's the magic of styrofoam. Pop that girl in there, and now she's waiting to dry while you move on to your other 2 pumpkins. Isn't that interesting? What I'm going to do here is, this might be the super annoying part, so that's what I grabbed this for. And I need a smaller, brush. You guys like my brush holder? This is a jar from however you would want to call it. This is either pepperoncinis or pepperoncini, or however you say things from where you're from. That's what this was. I like those things. I eat them. I also drink the juice. Don't tell nobody. But I covered it in some burlap, put some more ribbon and lace on it and some buttons, and I made a little paintbrush holder back when I thought I was really going to start painting. Let's just say it didn't work out, guys. Painting is not in my cards, and I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not mad at all. Not mad at all. So, this one, I'm going to get a little dirty, but it is what it is. So, this is Walnut Americana Gel Stain. This actually I have in my Amazon shop, so if you want to check the description or the pinned comment below, you'll be able to get to it through a link through my Amazon shop, and I'll grab a very tiny commission off of that, so that will actually help my channel if you want to purchase the same one. But you can also get that at Hobby Lobby and Michael's, I believe. I know I've seen it at Hobby Lobby. Now this is a gel stain. It's not paint, so I don't have any paint. So we're going to have to probably do a couple coats of this, but leaving the gold the way it was is not on my list of things to do. Definitely not. This needs to be a nice little dark brown stem. And again, the glitter is going to lend us some texture, which is actually pretty cool. It's going to look like real wood. I did this on, if you guys have followed my Instagram, you'll see the little pictures. I made a little mouse head, Mickey Mouse, out of pumpkins for my my desk. So it's basically you take 3 pumpkins. You have the main pumpkin is the largest one for the head, and then the 2 ears are smaller pumpkins. And all 3 stems needed to be painted because they were gold. Not gold. They were gold, but I think one of them they were copper glittered. And that glitter was just like, no, not cool, not cool, bro. So that's really about it. All I did was cover it, and I don't think it needs any more coats. Just 1 coat of that gel stain over the top of it. And then we're going to let it dry. Here's the tricky part. Gonna see if I can push this. Oh, that's perfect. See, my needle nose pliers are holding onto it perfectly, and I'm just going to pop it down here in the styrofoam and let that dry just like that. You can't see, but it's underneath here, so we're going to let that dry. So, guys, I know that that's not dry yet. And I'm using a baby wipe. You guys, most of my paintbrushes are cheapy paintbrushes I either got at the dollar store or I got them super cheap somewhere else. So, please, no cringing. These are not expensive brushes. I have some in here. Like, I know these are expensive brushes, but I'm not using them for these types of things. So I know I'm treating them badly. But again, these are very replaceable, and they'll do exactly what I want them to do. So, no worries on that front as far as, thinking that it's going to cause some issues. We're good to go. We're good to go. So, I literally only need a tiny bit of each of these. And I need even less of the blue. I think. Let's see how this goes. So I'm going to put my cap on my cashew. And I'm not going to wash my brush Also, I know for a fact that this is not dry, but we're going to be just loading up the layers on all this. So that's my cashew. Okay, so let's get a little bit of mineral in here. And this mineral gray color, I'm going to put kind of just coming off of it in streaks. And I'm going to do it very sloppy too, guys. I figure, you know, when I've tried to sit here and concentrate and make things realistic, I tend to get too hyper-focused on it. And then if I just let it go and say what happens, happens, it's just paint. Things start to pop up and look pretty awesome. So, like, this is like not even dark enough that I don't even know if it's making a difference. You can kind of see on camera, I'm just kind of putting more of the emphasis in the veins of the pumpkin, or trying to at least. And I'm liking how that looks, if you can kind of tell. And again, we're nestling this into mesh and ribbon and flowers and leaves and all that good stuff that I don't even know if it's even going to make its own appearance. So here I'm just going to put a couple blue, just a tiny bit of blue. The gray is mixing pretty good with it. It's actually making me pretty happy. Ooh, that's too much. This is where the baby wipes come in, guys. Oh, no, no. It's taking off too much of my cashew. There we go. Remember I said don't focus too much on the bottom of the sides because we're pushing this into an arrangement and we are definitely not going to need to worry about too much of the bottom. It won't show. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. I like the extra little bit of blue streaks on it. Kind of left some a little bit darker. I said I'm going to leave it like that, and then I start painting it again. Alright, so again, we went from this to this. Alright guys, so I'll be right back. I'm going to paint the other two, and then what you'll see is we're going to jump and we're just going to get started on putting the framing together. We're going to put the frame together and then we're going to cut up our mesh. So just one second, I'll be right back. Now punkies are here. They're all painted. They're drying off to the side. I'm going to move them in a second once we start cutting the mesh, but for right now, we're going to put this frame together. So first, let's cut our tags off. And we're going to need to do just a little bending. Not a lot, just a little. So to get these girls to go together, you're also you're going to need 6 zip ties, okay? So we need basically to turn them on each other. So first thing I'm going to do is you're going to take the curved end of one and the base of the bottom of the other, and you're going to match these up together just like this. And I probably should put a paper on the bottom here so you guys should bring my paper back so you can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, because of the wire frames, you guys aren't able to see that. So hold on, let me just put this down here. Okay, so here's our candy cane, right? So we're going to take the base of this one, the bottom part, and we're going to line it up with the top curved part of this one. So in order for this to be an oval or a rectangle type oval, we're going to need to push this in and bend this just a little bit towards the other. So I'm just kind of taking it and checking it like that. You're going to put a bend probably somewhere in here. And then actually once we get them together, because see this one's got to come in more on this side. Once we get them together, they're going, the pressure is actually going to hold them together as well. So what I'm going to do is take a zip tie and secure them right here in the middle bar here. And then also on the middle bar at the top where they're connected as well. And then I'm going to do one right here on the inside, just for extra support. What's going to happen is the inside of this is going to be so fluffy and full that you're not going to see it, so it's not going to matter. So now, when we come over to this side, over here, one second guys, sorry, just making sure it's not important. No, it's not. Okay. And since you can see it kind of doesn't match up, we're going to bend it until it does. Flip it over. And just kind of use my body and push the top part in towards me. And then now I have them lined up. Did I grab a 4? No, 6. Yeah, I grabbed 7. Okay. And on this one, let's see, I might even, guys, I might just add 4 just because I'll do all 4 of the sides. My little finger protector keeps coming off. That's not good. Yeah, this one's where all the pressure is. I'm going to put a 4th one over here. There we go. And the ones that are straight and they're going kind of long ways into the piece, I'm not going to cut them. I'm going to leave them long and probably incorporate them into the twist ties I'm putting in there just to hold them on. The other ones here, you could do sort of the same thing, kind of cut them so they're sort of long inward. Remember, zip ties can be sharp, so just be careful. that you're not leaving something too long that can actually hurt you later. But that's it. That's our swag frame. So that's how we turn the 2 candy canes into a swag. So you can also see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spots. So from top to bottom, we have 12 sections here. So we're going to put 2 wreath ruffles on each one. So that's why we need 24. And then we're going to be adding 1 piece of 30 inches of burlap in between those. So you need 12 of those. So it's one of those things where this will be a very full and pretty girl. And we're only going to use the the 2 wire rails, the bars on the inside. We're not going to be using the outside bars, only these 2 inside bars. So that's it, guys. So let's get this cleared off and we will start cutting all of our mesh. Okay, so now we're going to start cutting all of our mesh. And we're going to use the ruffle technique. And I prefer to use as little pieces as possible. Some people will cut them smaller and use 3 bundles together. I like to do 1 big bundle, and that's just how it is. So with 10-inch mesh, it's 10 inches wide and it's 19 feet long. If you do the math, that is not exactly, give or take a little bit. You can do 12 30-inch pieces, and that's what that wreath, that girl right there, is made out of. So we have to do 24 of them, and we're going to cut them together at the same time, basically is what I mean. We're cutting them two rolls together at the same time. So I like to use a rotary cutter. I got this in the fabric department. You can get these anywhere. This is also paper cutting department, but basically you find these in the fabric areas. The blades aren't exactly cheap, but also you get what you pay for, and it saves a lot of time, and I love it. I also like to use it on fabric too. Anyways, so let's roll these out. This stuff actually feels really good. It feels very, it feels a lot like linen and fabric. It's very nice. So I'm going to roll these girls out together, if they'll unroll together, if they will cooperate. And I need to do 30-inch pieces. So I have to roll this one up onto the counter here and roll her right here, because here's my 30 mark. So I'm just making sure that I have them pretty flat together. Now, give or take, guys, this is not an exact science. It's just to get it kind of close. Get it, not an exact science, but just pretty close is all we're asking for. So I got my 1 inch over here. Here's 30 on the mat. And they cut perfectly. All right, cool. So there we go. So then here is 2 pieces. It's kind of sticking together, which is irritating me. Even when you unroll it on itself, it's doing this. But I guess that's just what you get for getting this type of stuff. I don't know. We'll see how badly this stuff snags on itself, because it's already happening a lot. And that's part of the reason why I get irritated with cutting mesh. I don't do much with mesh because of how frustrated I get when I use it because of the fraying. And I am not into the whole, let's go buy a can of something and spray it and spray it and spray it and, you know, inhale all that crap in. I'm just not down for that. It's very irritating to me. So I'm just going to keep cutting these things at 30 inches each. Until we're done. You should have 24 at the end, or 12 per roll if you choose to do them one at a time. But you do need to have two beautiful rolls of meshes that will be used for the project. That's what we need. That's what we need. Okay guys, here's the gist. Whitney was not paying attention when she purchased these rolls of mesh. These rolls of mesh are not equal to a normal roll of mesh, because a normal roll of mesh is 10 inches wide by 10 yards long. And this is 10 inches wide by 19 feet. So I'm not getting 10 yards. If you use a normal 10-inch roll of mesh, it will be 10 yards. You will get the exact amount that you need out. You will get exactly 12 30-inch long pieces out of each roll. I've got about 16. And two of those, so 14, and the other two are just shy of being 30 inches. So what I'm going to do is I went to my stash, and the only thing I have right now on hand that is complimentary is this darker brown, and this is actually paper mesh. You can see the label there. I got this from craftoutlet.com. So this here I got it for $8.50. But in any event, colored chocolate. We're going to add the other couple pieces that we need of this into it, as well as we're still going to be using a piece of burlap on each one. So there's still the likelihood that we might not be able to see all of our pretty navy blue in there. But let me cut a few pieces of this, and we'll get this one just kind of intersperse it. I'm going to have to I'm just going to have to kind of move things around. Now, paper mesh is exactly what it is. It's made out of paper. If you guys can see this, this is made out of paper. If this gets wet, it'll fray. It'll get bubbly. It'll get wet. This is an indoor thing only. So now I'm not going to be able to put this on the outside of my door just in case it rains. I will be putting this on the inside of my front door. But you know what? It'll be a different day. Every day's a new day, right? So there'll be more fraying with this stuff. But again, 30-inch pieces. I'm going to cut a few of these and just intersperse them in with everything else because I'm short. And we really want to have 24 pieces of 10-inch items in there. And I have a lot of accents that are going to be green and a lot of accents that are going to be orange. So we're just going to cut these and just kind of mess around and get them just kind of mixed in. So don't do what I did. Pay attention. I was just excited that it was so cheap. Well, that's cheap because it was, well, for number one, I wouldn't have bought it at full price. This is $10 and it wasn't even 10 yards. So had I been paying attention that day, I probably wouldn't have bought those. I think just a couple, one more. I'm not sure. I have to do another count real quick. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so there's 24 pieces of that. Put this over here to the side. And for our burlap, we need 12 pieces of this. And I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did on our example wreath right here, this pretty girl. I put, if you can see them peeking through in different places over here and right up here, they're just part of this thing. So I'm saying like the shiny mesh that you can peek in here and see is all just a little bit of accent. You might think that you're putting too much in there, but you're really not. Everything will eventually be seen and everything is meant, the way I perceived it and the way I made it, it's meant to be that fluffy. We'll call her Fluffy, right? So the way I cut this was I cut them at a diagonal going the same diagonal. I don't know if it even makes a difference. So I'm just putting the corner of this one. If you can see, I put the corner and here at my 1-inch mark. And then I go down here to 30. And on my 30, I take my blade and I start here and I just go diagonally to the right. Then I fold that on itself, move it over. And that's how we're going to do this 12 times. Pull it out, put my blade at 30, and just pick a diagonal. The radius of your diagonal, it's not important. I'm just literally doing whatever I feel like. That's basically the best way you could say it. What are you doing? I'm doing whatever I feel like it. Remember, we need 12 of these because we're only going to put one on each of those little brackets in between the mesh that we cut. I mean, geez, guys, this will be like my... I don't know how many projects in a row am I making mistakes on. Seriously. That one was pure me. Not paying attention to the measurements on the mesh that I bought. I mean, I made that, the first one over here behind me, I made that one out of mesh that I already owned, and it was obviously... I remember getting it at Joann's a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago, on clearance after the season was over. But I never really paid attention to them either, because obviously I bought it 2 10-inch rolls, because that's usually basically what you need for every project anyways. Not paying attention to it, knowing that, thinking that they're all equal. They are not equal. Now I know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Need 4 more. I'm going to have to go grab another thing of burlap. Now, this wasn't a full roll because I had to grab this one off of, let's see, 8, 9. I had to grab this new one for my last swag back there because I'd already taken off of that other roll for, oh, by the way, this is an incomplete save this because I made, let me see here. I made the cutest little pumpkin stem out of this. Look, this is going to be another project, guys, but look at this little pumpkin stem I made out of this. So don't get rid of these remnant pieces. I'm going to show you how I did that in another video. It's so exciting. So exciting. Anyways, let me go grab another piece. I think I need 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Literally need 2 more pieces. 1 second. Okay. Oh, did I just go that way? Nope, save that. There we go. So, now all of our goodies are cut. Let's get to assembling. I hope this is going to be a good enough view. I'm going to try my best to make sure you guys can see. So, our frame has 12 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now I'm going to leave these things full length. And I literally just dumped all of that over. And yes, I know it's going to happen again. I'm just apparently a neat freak. In any event. I'm leaving these, they're full length, which I didn't do that before, but I'm doing that this time. Because I want them to stick out and be pretty and be part of the aesthetics on the outside. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just get started with putting these on here. I'm going to alternate here. We've got 4 rows. We've got the outside rung and the inside rung, or wire or bar. And then you've got these 2 bars here on the inside. We're putting everything on these 2 bars. So if I'm putting it, basically it's going to go inside for mesh, outside for burlap, inside for mesh. And then on the next one, it'll be outside mesh, inside burlap, outside mesh. It's basically just an even zigzag pattern. So however you did the previous section, do those next set of bars different. Do it the opposite way. And that's just going to give you a nice mix. That's really all it's about, is just making a nice even mix. Okay? So I'm going to start this one on the outside bar. And I'm just pushing it in there and then twisting it around. And then this next one is these pieces are for mesh only. Twisting it around. So I have one on the outside, one on the inside, okay? Now my burlap, I don't want any of this stuff showing, so my burlap is going to go in 5, 6. I had to grab 6 chenille stems. I'm going to stick with green just because I got that somewhere. Somebody sent it to me with my order. It's like one of those things like, here, have something free from our company. That's pretty nice. I always like it when those places do that. So these don't have to have, I don't want them seen, so I'm going to cut them in half. Okay, so that way we'll have all 12 of these ready to go. And since this one, oops, and actually, ignore me guys, whoops, I already messed it up. Actually, no, I didn't. I want the mesh to be that way. I'm going to do burlap on the inside on this first one. Okay. And so that's inside, so I'm doing this one on the outside. You'll know as you start putting together, you don't actually have to do that. When I did this first one, I didn't do any of this ahead of time. I just basically grabbed the ties and tied them as I went. I didn't already have the ties ready to go. That was a little frustrating. Now, so for this one, I'm going to put the burlap closer to the outside. So remember, the burlap I'm using the chenille stem for, and the mesh I'm using the pine tie for. Okay, so those 4 are done. Let's just try this out and start seeing how it goes. Alright, so first things first, let's grab this as it sticks to itself. By the way, guys, this stuff is making me so mad because it's sticking to itself like crazy. So we're going to unravel it. I like to take my piece and kind of fold under just like a little, like not even an inch at first. And then I use it and you just start gathering it. And it's sticking to everything. Just gather it. Just gather it down the middle with both of your hands. There's no science to it. It's gonna look sloppy, and that's what we want. And then what I'll do is I take this and I fold that piece under at the last minute. I'm trying to minimize the fray that shows, so if I'm thinking if they're folded under, it's not so bad. So we basically just have one bundle. I don't want to do 4 or 3 10-inch bundles or anything like that. It's just one 30-inch bundle, and it has a substantial amount of fluff in it, and it's perfect, and everybody loves it. So put it in and twist it a couple times, okay? We're not adding anything else to this piece of the fluff, the little bundles. We're not adding anything to it. So leave your stems long, let them stick out. We're not adding anything else to it. Next, I'm going to do a piece of burlap, folding it over on itself. So I'm basically folding it in half, and I'm gathering this right in the middle, just like that. That's all I'm doing. Gathering it right in the middle. So it almost looks like its own loop. It's going to basically fall over on itself like this and look like a pretty little loop. And I'm doing the same thing as I'm taking where I've bundled it or pinched it and gathered it, and I'm putting it between the pipe cleaners and just twisting it a billion times. And then I'm going to take that extra piece here and I'm just going to bend it down towards the back and then pull my loop over on itself. And that's how we're going to do that. Okay, next one. This stuff is amazing how it sticks to itself. It's so frustrating. Like, why is it doing that? Like, why is they used plastic in the middle pieces, but then the rest of it's all jute and linen or something? Horrible. Why would you do that? Maybe now I know why it was on clearance. Oh my gosh. This is going to drive me insane, you guys. I don't have enough room for this. Look at that. Ugh. Horrible. Yeah, tell me how, okay, let alone the fray. How are you going to keep this from sticking from itself? This might be its own nightmare. Jeez. This is one of the short ones anyway, so. Fold it under. Like, it's already fraying really bad, but we'll try to make it part of the charm. That's what I'll go with. I'm going to make this part of the charm. What is it? It's called Falling Apart Charm. I love it. So we're still working on the same bar. So there's our first mesh, then here's our burlap, and then here's our second mesh. Take our twist ties. And twist them around a few times. And leave them that way. So we're going to bundle the love out of this. We're just bundling the love right out of it. The love. I'm going to say love. Bundle the love out of it. It's definitely love, right? Bundle the love out of it. I'm going to say it like that too. Like bundling the love out of it. Alright, next piece of mesh. I mean, look at this. Guys, don't get this mesh unless you have more patience than I do. And, I mean, most people probably do have more patience than me. I'm actually, you guys, honestly, a very impatient person. Okay, so, fold that under and start gathering. Our next piece of burlap, fold it in half and just gather it kind of here in the middle. Sorry if you guys can hear my husband. He's playing video game and he's right next door to me. So apparently he's playing a game. So if you can hear it, my bad. If you can't hear it, good for you. Pull all this off of itself. Try not to lose my temper. Alright guys, so I'm just going to keep putting these on in the same fashion. And getting mad at it. I'll tell you this right now. This is horrible. And it's making me just... Oh, it's ruining it. It's like... absolutely ridiculous. Don't buy this mesh, okay? Michael's mesh, whatever you're doing, don't buy it. It's ridiculously horrible. Yeah. Learn my lesson. I will not be getting this stuff again. That's what I should have. It's pretty. I mean, it was navy blue. I mean, look at that. Look what's happening to it. It's absolutely horrible. Oh, I actually supposed to be mixing in some of that paper stuff, too. Let me put this behind me. Let me grab a piece of this paper stuff and do the same thing. So I'm going to kind of try to do like a little border underneath this one here. Fold it in half. Gather it in the middle. Do the same thing here like that, because it's also on top of being horrible mesh, not a full roll of mesh. Again, completely my fault, but at the same time, I'm going to complain about it because it's in my chemical makeup as a woman. That's my excuse, I'm sticking with it. Okay, so that was inside bar, so now this next one's going to go outside bar. This one was in, no, this one was outside bar, so this one is inside bar. So whatever you did last, just alternate that for your mesh and burlap pieces. It's basically all I'm doing. And I'm sorry, guys, ahead of time. If the angle is crappy, I feel like I am needing a different space, and I don't know what to do because I'm very limited on how I can move this room around. I mean, I've already done it twice. Many ages ago, but I have. So, flip this under and just start gathering and watching it rip up on itself. The paper mesh also like horribly sheds too. It's one of those things that's like really on my nerves to the point where I don't know if I'm going to keep using this, guys, because this is really going to turn into a really just, I don't know what. Or it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to put it on my front door anyways, and then I won't really care if it rains. Because it doesn't rain that much here in Vegas, but if it does, maybe that's not such a bad thing, because then it'll give me an excuse to make something else. Once it gets horribly ruined. Also, we're going to be gluing a bunch of stuff in here, so, yeah. I'm pretending I'm in a live stream with you guys, and you're all telling me everything will be okay. Another paper piece down here. Just for the record, I don't suggest paper mesh either. Do you see this? This was an accident. I thought it was burlap when I ordered it, so I ordered a bunch of paper mesh. I'm like, oh crap, what am I going to do with it? Well, this is one of those things. We'll use it as an oopsie. Which, guys, I've been making a lot of oopsies lately. What am I going to do? I need to quit doing that. Okay, guys, there she is, shedding like crazy and driving me crazy from it. But I actually think it's working. It's looking very rustic. It's looking very, you know, the way this paper keeps fraying on here, it's looking pretty floofy. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Again, this is the most horrible mesh I've ever worked with. And back in the day, I worked with a lot of it. I used to do all the owns. I mean, that's what I started doing, was mesh wreaths. Long time ago. Like in 20... I don't even know. I didn't have a YouTube channel. I just started making stuff. Geez, how long was it? 2007? No, I don't remember when I actually started making wreaths, like, all the time. But regardless, I used to use nothing but mesh for a very long time. This mesh is horrible. Don't get it. Save yourself. Save your sanity. But the burlap and then the addition of the brown paper, because this wasn't a full roll like I had thought it was. My bad. Can't be mad because I wasn't paying attention. So, I mean, I will own that. That's my bad. My fault. My doing. But do you see, like, you guys, I'm like a kind of like I'm a neatish type person, and I'm going to just keep pulling at this stuff. It's almost like I probably shouldn't even have it in my house, because I'm just going to keep unraveling and unraveling this paper stuff. Best part is I'm going to have to just put the sign in it, put the bow on it, and then just start putting some stuff in it. But if you can see that this girl right here, she is full and floofy. Full and floofy. So guys, let's get the sign in it, and then we'll start working on the bows, and then we'll have to hang it on the wall and start gluing some goodies in it. It's pretty late for me right now at night. I might end up taking a break real quick and probably coming back to it tomorrow. I'm not sure. So I'll probably acknowledge that in the video if it happens, but you guys might see me with different clothes or makeup, who knows. We'll see how it goes. But this right here, this alone took 1 hour and 10 minutes just to put all that on there. And it's a labor. It's definitely a labor of love. You can definitely say that. It's a labor of love. Let's see if you can tell. This is one floofy girl, one very pretty girl. And then here we can take a peek on the back. You can always try to push things through if you want. It's always going to end up on itself. But you can always make sure if you lose your count, you'll have 1, 2, and then your chenille stem is your burlap. 1, 2 burlap, 1, 2 burlap. You'll see you have them on each section of the rails. In case you ever lose count, just peek at the back of it if it's too hard to peek through the front, which is, I've done it. I did a couple times, but it's not too bad on the back of it either. So let's get this. Let's get the sign on it and get some bows made. Okay, guys. So we're gonna make 2 large bows. And then we're going to be securing these with zip ties, no chenille stems on these guys. We are going to make 2 large bows, and then we may add more of one or the other ribbon as accents in other parts of it, but we will do that once we get on the wall and we start putting all the other florals in it. And then I got one really big zip tie here for the sign, the type of metal sign this is. I'm just going to loop that guy right through the hole and then attach that to the inside of the wreath so that this will stick out some. And I needed a long enough zip tie that it'll give me some room. This is an 11-inch long zip tie, just for reference. So now onto our bow. We got some navy blue linen ribbon. I got this 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch here with this is probably this is canvas or burlap. I'm not sure. Doesn't say. I know it's craftoutlet.com. I can tell you that. It's 50-yard roll. And then this is also Craft Outlet with the pumpkins on it. 2 1.5 inch ribbons. So we're going to make a fairly decent size. I really wish... Hold on here. I think I need another 2.5 inch ribbon. But buffalo check is not going to look good in here. I got a lot going on with these colors. It's very rustic. I'm loving all of, I mean, if you guys, I have it right here on my stool. I'm loving how all these little green pieces are sticking out. That's something that didn't happen on the last one. I'm loving every second of it. And I don't think buffalo check's going to look good with the navy blue because it's going to make it look black. And this is not. It's navy blue. I want to keep emphasizing the navy blue. I have a ribbon. Hold on. I will be right back. I do have one more ribbon. I've used it on another wreath before. Hope I have enough of it. I should. A couple of years ago, I made a like a deer, an antler with deer, a Christmas wreath with deer antlers in it, and this was in it. So I should have. Definitely have a decent amount. This is from Michael's many years ago. This is 25 feet. I haven't used that much of it. I think this actually complements it pretty good. This is a navy blue ribbon with the burlap in the middle. And actually I think this is going to work out very well. So, yes. I'm happy now. So, for the ribbons, guys, I'm doing pretty basic technique. Might seem a little sloppy, but no worries, it will work out in the end. And since I'm using zip ties, this is going to be a little bit different than what you guys are used to. I don't know if I've ever done a zip tie one on in a video before, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to put the bright orange in the back. So I'm just going to pinch it, and I need to make these loops fairly large because this is going to be zip tied all the way in and has to come through all of the if you want to see here, it has to come through all of the pieces of mesh and everything, so it's pretty deep. So this first back one, the loops are going to be fairly large. And this is not double, I mean, it's double-sided technically, so you don't have to do the twist. I'm going to anyways because that's just what I'm used to doing. So I'm going to do 4 large loops with the orange. Oops, and I'm going to leave a medium tail, not really crazy long. Because remember, we got to dovetail this once we get it all put together. And what I do is I stuff all of it in between my thumb and my palm, and that's how I hold stuff while I'm making it. Now we're going to move on to this pretty girl here. And this is definitely one-sided because this side's the pretty side and that side's just a little bit off. You can see where it was constructed, so we don't want that showing. And this one I'm only going to use 2 loops because again we're using it as an accent. I'm just going to pull it out, grab it, and then put it right on top and put my thumb back over the top of it there. Okay. Nothing's going to stay together. Like, see, like I'm already kind of losing this here. Just stuff that back into your hand. No harm, no foul. Stuff it in there. When in doubt, just stuff it in there. So now I'm going to use my punky ribbon. And these loops I'm going to make a little bit smaller. And then making that one a little bit different. I'm doing 3 loops on it. Just because I want it to be a little strange. I'm actually going to push it this way. And then our farmhouse stripe linen. only going to do 2 loops on that. Put that right up front there. So we've got a big handful of a bunch of stuff here, okay guys, big handful. So what I want to do is, I'm definitely going to zip tie this whole bow together. So we're going to wrap the zip tie around our bow. We're going to try to keep it in the layers that it's in, all right? And then the most important part is we're going to put it here. So I'm going to feed the, holding it here, I've wrapped it around the whole bow. I'm going to feed the zip tie through itself. And I'm going to get it started, right? All right, so there we've got it started, okay? But what I need to do, this is the back of the bow, is we're going to feed another zip tie through horizontally this way, and then make sure that this end is facing outward, okay? So we're going to hold it like that, because this is the one we're going to use to secure it into our project. Then you can tighten this down the rest of the way. At that point, you can let go and just really tug on it and make sure it's tight and secure. And so now, when we go to put it into our project, this is how we will take it and place it into the project and secure it in. And then we have all this stuff to deal with. We've got all these ends to dovetail. And again, we might end up cutting them a little bit shorter. I just like to dovetail them as they are first. And then once we get it in the project, we'll see if we want to make any of the tails shorter. Can't make them longer, but quite possibly could make them shorter. One more. So the pops of orange are coming from the sign here because there's a pumpkin on the sign. And then we're going to be adding, you know, leaves and things in there and such that'll bring out more of that color. So I got my sign ready. I got one of my bows ready. I'm going to make the second bow, and then we'll be right back and we'll start putting them into the frame. Okay guys, I have both my bows made. I got my sign ready, so we kind of want to take our base here and pick a top and a bottom. So I know you can't see very well just yet, but I'm going to look at it, stand it up and look at it, and pick a top. So I'm going to make this the top of it. So my idea is we're going to place the sign kind of off, maybe like that. Nothing's going to make it hang one way or the other. It might move a little bit, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to put a bow here and a bow here on the side. So first things first, let's take our tag off. And again, guys, I got this thing on a great deal. Regularly $16.99. I think I got it. You know, I could tell you I have the receipt right here. Oh my gosh, I got it for even cheaper. I got it for $6.80. I thought I got it for $8. I got it for $6.80 for the sign. Kind of awesome. So I'm going to take a really long zip tie, right? Feed it through our sign. And then I'm just going to kind of find a spot in here and just push it down in until I find a piece of the frame. And there's a piece of the frame right there. Get around this piece of burlap here. Right there. Okay, come on. stick it through and kind of grab it on the back, if I can grab it through the back. And then we're going to flip it over. This is where I want the sign, so however it faces on the front, it's not really that big of a deal to me. So I'm going to flip it over and hopefully not lose it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I lost it. Come on. There it is. I found it. Okay. Yeah, we're still through our sign. So, I'm going to put it through this middle metal piece here. And I'm just going to secure it shortly. Like, where's my, I don't want to cut it. I'm not going to cut that zip tie at all. Just going to use it so it bites into the zip tie just a little, just enough. That's good enough for me. And I'm leaving that piece on there just like that. Because I don't want this thing to stick out. See, if we push it in any further, the more that the sign will come out. Right now, if you look at it upwards, it has a good, you know, it lays like in a good fashion. It has a good lay to it. And, you know, and see how cute that is? That's cute. So, what I will do is I'm going to put both these bows on. This is their bigger bow. The bigger bow I'm putting at the top. I'm going to feed this one in right here at the top in the middle-ish. Bows are going to get crushed also, guys. Don't worry about it. So once you get it into the spot you want it, just flip it over. You're going to have a lot of time to fuss with this. Trust me, you have a lot of time to mess with it and get it pretty and how you like it. And for this one, I'm going to put it around these two just because it's already like that. So, no biggie there. I'm also not going to cut this. I'm just going to tuck it into this stuff in here and let it live its life just like that. Okay, never mind how crushed this is. We will fix her and add things to her and make her floofy and pretty. As I say, don't mess with it as I mess with it, right? Alright, and now this bow is the second bow I made off camera you guys didn't see. I didn't make the orange 4, I only made the orange 2 loops. So all of these ribbons are just, this additional bow is only 2 loops on all sides. And I did not dovetail any of this. Sorry guys, hold please. Okay, so now for this guy, I want to put it on the right side of this sign to keep it the sign kind of diagonal, because otherwise it'll just hang straight. I want to put the bow here, and when I get it up on the wall behind me, I'll show you guys. I'll bring the camera a little closer and I'll show you guys my reasoning as to how, because of the way this sign is, it's a little different. So we're going to support it to keep it at a diagonal. That's what the bow, that's what our extra bow on this side is going to be for, okay? Okay, yeah. Alright, so let me find a spot over here. I'll feed it in a little bit lower, down towards here. Okay. Flip that over a little bit. And I'm going to zip tie her right here. If leaving these zip ties like this bothers you, clip them off. What I don't like is when you clip off a zip tie, they get super sharp. So if you don't mind these things hanging out on the back like that, then leave them like that. You know, there's the behind the scenes. This item is handmade. So a lot of times there's, you know, it's just going to come with the territory. That's just how it'll be. So flip her back over. And so what I'm going to do here is we're going to lift our camera up. Hello guys. And we're going to take this pretty girl off of the wall. Okay, we're going to take this pretty girl off the wall. And we're going to put our next pretty girl in her spot. So we can start working on it. I am going to have to go back and forth from the table, back and forth up here, back and forth, just because I can't reach the top. I'm short. I can't see where I'm at. I placed it there. I placed the nail there, not really thinking. Remember, I told you guys I did it in a moment of upsetness. Let's call it upsetness. Yeah, we'll do that. So, you guys kind of have a good view of it, but we're not really all that close. So I will try and see if I can move some things around. I'm already messing with the bow. Tugging on it. The best part is because of the zip tie, I can pull on this stuff so hard because that zip tie is on pretty good. It's not going anywhere. Just a few little fluffs, nothing crazy just yet up here. Alright, and again, I'm sorry if I'm blocking everything, guys. Alright, that's the idea of it. She's looking pretty cute already. I love this punky. Alright, so let me get my supplies together. I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer, and then we'll start putting some goodies in here, guys. Okay, guys. So, got the camera closer to me, too. But in order to get that in the shot, we'll see how it goes. So now we're just going to add our goodies. We've got some flowers. I've got some magnolia leaves. I've got some other pieces of pine. They were all in their own little separate picks from Hobby Lobby. I'm not going to use the red berries off of that. We're just basically using the pine picks. And then I have these two leafy guys here. But I don't know if it's enough. So let's just start adding things in. And we'll see how far we get. I've got 6 of these, and this is just a different type of pine, and this is just to add some interest here and there. So I want to literally just tuck this in different spots, and it's just going to grab onto things. So this particular one's kind of spiky. I don't need that much glue, but I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it on my glue skillet kind of off to the side over here. And I'm just going to start popping those in. And since I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, I'm going to try to just disperse them evenly, sort of, kind of. Not really. And again, if I'm blocking stuff, guys, I'm really sorry. Anybody has a professional studio they want me to use, I would gladly run over there. Trust me, it would be a dream. to have a real space. Like, I cleaned up everything in here, and then I went shopping. Went to Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree, and then... I mean, I've got all my projects planned out. They're on the floor, but they're planned out. They're planned out, right? So, it counts. Alright, I got 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I'll put one over here. Get that to stick out a little bit. And the last one, maybe I'll put right down here, yeah. I say last one, but I think I have 1 or 2 or 3 more of these in the other room. I just didn't want to rip apart the whole thing just for a couple pieces of pine, but I'm not against it. I could still do it. Ow, I burnt my finger a little bit. Okay. So, there's just extra little pieces of pine to put in there. There's only 6 of them, so it's not like it's going to be like, whoa, oh my gosh, all that pine. And again, you guys, I don't know if you can even see that because the lighting... Okay, so I've got 3 of these sunflowers. These are Hobby Lobby sunflowers. And I'm going to cut probably about off to where the tag is, off on those stems. Because we don't want them sticking way through the back and hitting the wall or anything. But you can't cut them off completely because then they fall apart. That is no fun. So, I'm going to put these 3 sunflowers in. I'm just going to find their places first before I glue them in. I think I kind of want to put one right here. Yes, definitely think one should go somewhere over here, possibly. Right above the bow, maybe over here. And then the third one, maybe facing upwards. Let's put this girl in like that. What do you guys think? Evenly dispersed. Yeah, alright. I'm going to commit. So I'm also going to bend these straight back here, and then I'm going to try to hold as much as I can forward. All of these good things here, I'm going to try to hold them as much as I can forward, so I'm only putting glue on the back of that guy. Okay. Beautiful. Again, I'm pushing this out a little bit straight. I'm getting as many petals as I can forward in my hand. And then I'm just going to scoop some glue onto that stem in the back. Push that one in there like that. Sorry guys, I'm probably blocking this. I'm messing with this bow because I don't want the bow to be like, look like it's stuffed into a spot, but we're gonna have to put some leaves or something right there. Oh, I gotta glue this girl right in there. So how you doing? You know, with all this social distancing, we're kind of close. You guys, I'm a goofball. Sorry. Also, I don't think y'all want me this close to you, but it is what it is. Again, my favorite saying, right? All right. Bloop. Yeah, these twist ties worked out really great. It's exactly what I wanted them to do. A lot of times, because I'm not working on it while it's flat, I have to hold things in because I'll notice they'll start to slide back out. That glue needs a little bit of extra time to set or harden or whatever you want to call it. Whatever makes you happy. Oh yeah. You guys know I like tucking leaves in things. So, I'm going to put these guys in. I have more than this one bundle. But I want to see if I should just leave this bundle as it is. And kind of like... Yeah, it's too much in one spot. That's why I cut things apart. Okay. So these are a little bit thin, so we don't need to put too much glue on the ends of them because the the plastic just kind of burns and melts. But we want enough on there that it will, like, you know, stick to stuff and things. So I'm just going to tuck it in different spots. I'm going to stick one of these magnolia leaves in there next to it too, because I want to evenly disperse a lot of the green out there too. Remember, this is fall, yes, but also that doesn't mean it's just 100% all orange and yellow and brown. I'm going to tuck some of these smaller leaves that came off of that pick into the bows, because I have the bigger bushel of magnolia leaves that I can disperse throughout the rest of the project. So let's just add these guys in as we see fit. I think that one was meant to be right there. 1 second. Excuse me. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop. Covers up some of the bow, but let me pull this leaf through here. I'm just going to fluff it and mess with it for a second. Yeah, I like that there. Okay. All right. That one I want to put towards the top, but I can't reach it. So, take it down, put it on my stool, push you guys down here so you can see how I got to do these things. This is short people problems. I want to put it right here, okay? Don't judge my garbage. I mean, whatever, judge it. I don't care. That's all my paper crafts I don't do. Okay. And I'm going to glue that one in right there like that. But I would not have been able to do that if I had it up on the wall. Okay. So now we're going to put her back on the wall. And with the other one, I did that quite a few times. Up, down, up, down. That's just harder for the course because I am not going to get on the steps, dude. Push that back in the wall a little bit. So we added this piece right here down on the bench because I'm so short. That's how we do that. This little piece here. Where can I stick this little piece? Magnolia leaf. These magnolia leaves, I'm dipping the ends of them in and I'm just pushing them into the bow. You're going to push them right into the center of your bow. It just adds so much to it. I love putting leaves in the bows. Leaves and flowers, little extra, little pieces that fall off here and there during your project as you're working on it. It's like the best thing, in my opinion, to stick in the bow, and it just adds little pops of color and makes everything kind of go together in a pretty way. I'll put that little guy right up there up top. Put that little guy right there. Oh my gosh, the strings. That was glue on top of the mesh that was shedding. Just saying. Don't buy that mesh. You guys, have I mentioned that I don't like that mesh? I'm just wondering. Because, I might not have said that. I feel like I'm that person that's like sits next to you or gets up to you in line like uncomfortably close. Sorry. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you craft by yourself too much. No one's going to see this. I can just be a complete dope and just, say weird things. I can edit it out, and then I never do. I'm going to do a lot of magnolia leaf tucking in right now. I really like what they're adding to the wreath. As far as I know, magnolia trees are deciduous. Is there any green thumbs in my subscribers list? Anybody watching know anything about magnolias? I know they don't grow in the desert, and they shouldn't. But I had a neighbor that had one for a while. And when these leaves fall off, they blow into your yard. They get very crunchy, and then your wiener dogs like to eat them and bring them inside. That's why I know they're really not meant to be in the desert. Just, FYI. Not that I experienced that or anything. You guys let me know in the comments. Anybody live in the desert? Or, sorry, you don't want to live in the desert. Anybody live anywhere where there's magnolia trees? I believe they, even in the winters, they don't lose their leaves. They're not supposed to. Some of the ones here, it's just too dry. There's no more humid climates. I'm guessing it doesn't snow. I don't know. I'm trying to like, you know, do things I don't know anything about. I'm like, I'm a professional. I know all about it. You can ask me. But these are looking super cute in this arrangement. I'm loving what they're doing to it. It's like a brighter pop of green, and I'm really sorry, guys, if you guys can't even see what they're doing to this arrangement. I feel like it's too far away. Maybe there's just not enough light on it either. But the greens in here, it's beautiful. Making me so happy. It's also weird working left-handed. I gotta put this in here because when I face the project, when I'm facing our swag, I'm putting it in with my left hand on this side. And that is strange for me. Okay, last one, right? Not last one, I got a few more. I'm gonna just empty out the rest of that leftovers I had from that last bundle. Guys, let me know if this leaf falls off right here. I gotta hold this one down here. She's so pretty. What are you thinking? I'm liking it a lot. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. That's the end of that. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more magnolia leaves I want to add to this beautiful girl. I also have some more leaves I'm adding too, guys, so this isn't the end. We're close. We're very close. Super duper close, I think. Whenever I say that, it's like another 2 hours. Kidding. Not really kidding. This magnolia is making me forget how much I hate that mesh. It's looking very fresh. It's still very fall and fresh. I just... You guys, this paper, this saved me from myself. Seriously, saved me from myself. Now, this isn't all of it, but this is a good amount is what I pulled out of this wreath so far, okay? I probably shouldn't be around this thing because I'm going to just continue to pull that stuff out. Anybody else have neatness issues? Let me grab another couple, what are these called? These little picks here, these guys. I have a gigantic bag. Do I not have any more of those? Oh no. You guys, I'm going to introduce you to my Michael's bag of fall picks that I've had for eons and eons and eons. I don't have any more of that kind. I have this kind. Maybe I'll stick one more. I just need a little bit of more orange in there. Now see these oak leaves here? I'm going to add this. This is the only pick of these oak leaves I had left. This was Michael's. And this is an old Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to throw some oak leaves in here and spread that around the whole thing. But since I have the fall leaves, like what are these? Maples? I don't know what you call these. These fall leaves here. Here, I needed to add something down here. So I'm just going to turn this one pick into two. And you guys have seen me do this many times before, but if this is your first time, just 1 second, I'm just cutting the tag off of it. Gotta love Hobby Lobby tags. Why? Why must you? I got it. The little tiny. So I'm gonna cut this one pick. We're gonna cut it. There's this piece here to make. If you look at the construction of this thing, can you kind of see here in between how it is all these little branches off of the one main branch in the middle? We're going to cut it right there. Excuse my middle finger. We're going to cut it right there in the center of that. We're only going to cut it 1, 2 down. I'm going to cut it right here. So put your wire cutters right above the next branch that you want to cut off. Check this out. Now, once you twist all these to make it all pretty, this looks like its own pick. And now this has its own little base to it, and this is its own pick. That's like the best way to make multiple picks out of one pick. Sometimes they're making these things so dang huge, like this. This is too big for leaving in one size, or in one, you know, one little bundle. You need to be able to spread your stuff out. So since this guy's fairly large, tuck it in over here. Oh geez. Okay, well, real quick, since I cut it off there in the middle, these things literally just slide right off. So I'm going to show you a little trick. We're going to slide that drill right back on there. Okay, see our little piece here? We're going to get some needle nose pliers, and we're going to secure it so it doesn't happen again. So we're going to take our piece here, and you're going to find an angle so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it and just curl it down on itself. And I'm going to curl it and curl it and curl it, curl it. So you see here, I turned it into its own little curlicue, little circle. So now once you try to push these things up, they're not coming off. They're not going anywhere. Can you see in there? Right there. They're not going anywhere. Wasn't paying attention to that. But now I am. Okay, that's where I'm going to put that one, right underneath that magnolia leaf. Right up in there, just like that, like so. I'm looking for the orange to pop out. That's really what I want. What are we doing? Yeah, I did that. I regret that immediately as soon as I said it. Sorry, guys. I really should not be left alone. I'm going to pop that one in there, and then I'm going to put the oak leaves in, and then we'll take a peek and see if we're done. I could possibly put some little tiny flowers in it, but I don't really want to put more yellow because the sunflowers are yellow. I also have 2 more magnolia leaves that really need a home. There's one of them. This is looking good. This is looking good, guys. Should I put the other one right here or somewhere? Yeah, I'll tuck that one in on that side there. See if I can glue it to like everything. I'm really putting a lot of glue on both sides of this leaf. You see here, there's a bunch on the top and the back. And my idea is to tuck it in like that. Okay, magnolia leaves are done. Let's put these oak leaves in. I'm just going to cut this whole little bundle apart real quick. That way we're going to have to do a little bit of tuck here and there and get these pretty little leaves put in some good spots. Okay, so for sure, that one definitely needs to go there. Okay, so I found that one's house. This one I didn't pull out. It came out on its own. I'm sticking to it. That was not agreeing with me. cut the stem shorter. There we go. That's all I had to do. Just take it apart. Just tucking them in, guys. Tucking them into their little spots. Oh, it's a mess in here. But when is it not? Ah. It's weird. I got one little one after this. I think what I might do, put it up there, just like that, just to kind of hide the zip tie up there. So what I'm going to do is I cut them apart, okay? We'll put a little dab of glue on the top of that one, right there. And I'm going to glue the two ends to each other, so they're glued together right here. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in my glue pot, and I'm going to have them hang over the top of that little hole there. Ooh, that's hot. And that's going to like try to disguise should someone go, oh, I thought a zip tie, you know, because you can see the zip tie right now. Just like that. Cute. Ay, you guys, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but don't buy that mesh. Don't get paper mesh either. So she didn't need any extra ribbon either, if you notice that. I kind of like what I've done here. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting some berries in it, but I don't have any. I have some orange, or I got yellow ones, but I don't want to put berries in it. I like the magnolia leaves. I think they added enough to it that I'm very, very happy with it. super happy with it. I just hope you guys can see it. So let me take it off of the tripod and give you guys a better view. But then also, you know, I always have my studio light pictures at the very end. You see those popping through, so you can see it in better lighting. This one was also, it took a lot out of me, guys. I'm getting old. So anyways, let me back you up here. I love it. Once again, this is another major piece, another very large piece. She has a presence. She's gorgeous. Very gorgeous. The linen ribbon, I mean, again, for me, my personal opinion, it's the magnolia leaves that's doing it for me. I love it. And the paper mesh doesn't really seem to be that big of a thing, but if it does rain, the paper mesh will just get soggy and it will be destroyed. So if you ever use it, don't put it in anything outdoor. Even if you seal it, I wouldn't put paper mesh outside, ever. Ever, 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 ever. But anyway, stay tuned, guys. There'll be a little video / pictures. And then tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me how you guys liked it. Send me any tips or ideas or tricks. Everybody loves those. You guys are great to each other in the comments. You're great to me. And I appreciate every single one of you. So, once again, guys, thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you guys all in the next video, okay? Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, guys. So, this would be the second video that I forgot something. So, I'm just going to stay within normal fashion. And remember these guys that we did all that painting on earlier? They got pushed to the side in all of my mesh frustration. Just saw them right now. So, we're going to glue the stems back on, then we're going to add them back to the dang wreath. Here, guys, let's take a look. So, here they are all dried and painted. Here's all our little stems. So, all I'm going to do is glue their stems right back into the original holes. That might have been a little bit too much glue. No, actually, that's fine. So, there's after the stain is dried on it. That's what we're working with. So they were all that glittery stuff before. Now they are not. Makes me happy. So the stems pop right back in very neatly too, I might add. So that's going out. That's working out right. That's working out right. So now we're going to put these pumpkins into our swag like we had originally planned on doing. So I'm going to find them some homes real quick and see if I can talk them into being in certain places I want them to be in. So maybe try this one right here and kind of pull the burlap around it, pull some of this paper, pull these leaves. Not sure if I like it like that, but we'll see. I kind of like that one right there. This one I'm going to kind of try to tuck in down here maybe. Okay, the stem's not, glue's not dry yet. I can't pull on it like I thought I was. Still pulling that paper off of it. That one I really like because it's kind of hidden. So let's take that off. Let's put a bunch of glue on this part of it here. I need to put more glue in my glue skillet, guys. So I'm going to add glue with my glue gun. And then a bunch of it to the back of the pumpkin too, so that whatever it touches, once I push this in here, that's its new home. There we go. I like that. I like it a lot. these other ones. See if there's a way I can kind of tuck them in like a little sideways, maybe give them like a little bit more kind of, not hidden per se, but that one looks better right here. Does that look bad, guys? It's kind of under the sign a little bit, but what do you think? I like it right there. It's weird. I like the weird. Yeah. And then we're done, I promise. I hope, unless I find something else. I remember that too. Like I looked at it, I was like, I did all that work to paint these and not add them in. I mean, no. These guys are part of this. I wanted them to be an accent, and that's what they will be. So there. Now we're done, guys. I'm just checking. Okay, everything seems to be good. So 1, 2, 3 for the pumpkins, 1, 2, 3 for the sunflowers, and then all the other goodies that we put in here. Now she's done. Oh, we'll get through this together, guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate everybody here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for everything. Check out my Amazon shop in the description. Check out my Instagram if you want to send me messages there. Facebook's linked there, but I don't really use it that often. Just FYI, best place to get a hold of me is in Instagram. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you more than you know. So take care. Happy crafting, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.